If you've ever watched soldiers move together in perfect rhythm, boots striking the ground at the same time, arms swinging in sync, you may have wondered why they march instead of simply walking. Walking feels more natural and comfortable, so at first glance, marching can seem unnecessary or even outdated. But marching was never about comfort. It's a practice shaped by centuries of warfare, discipline, communication, and psychology. Why do soldiers march instead of walk? To understand why this practice still exists, we need to look at history, training, coordination, and what it means for people to move as one. Let's dive in, right here, on History of Simple Things. Marching originally developed as a practical solution to battlefield chaos. Ancient and early modern armies fought in tight formations, where staying aligned was critical for survival. Soldiers carrying spears, shields, or muskets needed to move together to protect one another and maintain defensive lines. If individuals walked at different speeds, gaps would form, making units vulnerable to enemy attacks. Marching ensured that everyone moved at the same pace and direction, keeping formations intact even over long distances. This was especially important before radios or instant communication existed. A marching rhythm acted as a built-in system of order, allowing large groups of soldiers to maneuver as a single coordinated force rather than scattered individuals. Before the invention of radios, GPS, or digital signals, armies relied on visual and auditory cues to communicate. Marching played a key role in this system. The steady beat of marching, often guided by drums, fifes, or shouted commands, helped soldiers understand when to advance, halt, or change direction. In noisy or chaotic environments, spoken orders could be lost, but rhythm traveled farther and remained consistent. Drums, in particular, were used to signal movements and maintain timing across large units. Marching transformed movement into a form of communication, allowing commanders to control troops even when visibility was limited or conditions were confusing. Marching is also a training tool designed to instill discipline. Learning to march requires attention, coordination, and immediate response to commands. Soldiers must suppress individual habits and adapt to the group's rhythm, reinforcing the idea that the unit comes before the individual. Over time, this repetition builds muscle memory, teaching soldiers to move automatically under instruction, even when tired or stressed. This kind of discipline becomes essential in combat situations where hesitation or disorder can be dangerous. Marching trains both the body and the mind, reinforcing obedience, consistency, and precision, qualities that military organizations depend on. While marching may look rigid, it is actually designed to be efficient over long distances. Military marching pace is carefully calibrated to balance speed and endurance, allowing soldiers to travel far while carrying heavy equipment. Walking casually leads to uneven pacing, which can tire individuals faster and disrupt group movement. Marching standardizes stride length and rhythm, reducing unnecessary energy loss. Historically, armies often had to travel dozens of kilometers a day, sometimes for weeks at a time. A unified marching pace helped ensure that no one lagged too far behind or pushed themselves too hard too early, preserving the unit's overall strength. Marching has a strong psychological effect both on soldiers and on observers. Moving in unison creates a sense of unity and shared purpose, reinforcing bonds within the group. Studies in psychology have shown that synchronized movement increases cooperation and group cohesion, which helps explain why marching remains a powerful tradition. For soldiers, marching can reduce feelings of isolation and anxiety by emphasizing collective identity. For civilians or opposing forces, a marching unit projects discipline, strength, and readiness. Throughout history, armies have used marching displays to intimidate enemies and reassure allies, making it as much a psychological tool as a physical one. In modern warfare, soldiers no longer rely on marching to move into battle. Vehicles, aircraft, and advanced technology have changed how armies operate. However, marching remains deeply embedded in military culture. It is used in training, ceremonies, and parades to preserve tradition and reinforce discipline. These rituals connect modern soldiers to generations who came before them, maintaining continuity and identity within military institutions. Marching also serves symbolic purposes, representing order, professionalism, and respect. Even when its original battlefield necessity has diminished, its cultural and institutional value continues to justify its place in military life. Soldiers march instead of walk, not because it is easier, but because it is purposeful. Marching began as a solution to real challenges, maintaining formation, communicating commands, and moving efficiently across long distances. Over time, it evolved into a powerful tool for discipline, endurance, and psychological unity. Even in today's technologically advanced militaries, marching remains a visible reminder of structure, cooperation, and shared identity. What may look like a simple movement is actually the result of centuries of experience, shaped by the demands of war and the need for order. Marching isn't just about getting from one place to another. It's about moving together with intention as one body. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.